welcome that we give you all today from the town of Bromyard for the second fantastic Bromyard Festival of Speed. The sun is shining, the people are here, the cars are ready. It is up to you to go out there and enjoy everything that Bromyard, my town, has got to offer you. May God bless you all, and God save the Queen.
We're at the Bromyard Speed Festival. This is Overdrive, and we're hunting the Beast. We've come to Herefordshire for the second Bromyard Speed Festival. A huge variety of vehicles are in action around the town. Cars, bikes, and whatever this thing is. And this year, there are not one, but two star attractions. Land speed record cars, Babs, and the Beast of Turin. And we managed to catch up with the tamer of the Beast, Duncan Pittaway. Bromyard Festival of Speed, and it's not only got a Welsh car here, but it's got an Italian car here. And actually, I came up in an Italian car built in Poland with 69 brake horsepower. So let's ask this gent here about the Beast and how much Italian horsepower that has got. Good afternoon, sir, and your name is?
My name's Duncan. Ian, it's nice to meet you.
Right then, Duncan.
I'm delighted to hear you've got a Panda.
Oh yeah, we got to get the Panda thing in it. 69 brake horsepower I came up with this. Right, now, talking about Italian horsepower, how much has this got?
Well, this is at a time when to go fast, you thought you put a big engine in. To go faster, you put a big one in. And back in 1911, this was the end. This is the ultimate in terms of the big engine. So this is 300 horsepower at 1,000 revs from a 28,000 cc engine, only 4 cylinders. So it was the end of, it was the last of the silliest, the biggest, silliest engine racing cars.
So it's not even a V8 or a 6-cylinder, it's a 4-cylinder.
Yeah, 4-cylinder. All the racing cars at that time were, and Fiat had a sort of competition with Benz, and they started out at 10 litres in 1906, then went 10, 14, 16, 18. Benz in 99 had a 21 litre 4, and Fiat thought, well, we can do better than that, so they did a 28 litre 4.
So just very quickly now, you were obviously either very drunk or overdosing on coffee and thought, I'll buy this. What happened?
It's become a bit of an obsession. My wife's very lucky in many ways. About 15 years ago, I knew about the car, and about 15 years ago, a friend of mine, I just restored another car, and he said, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I'd love to restore a big engined Edwardian chain drive racing car. And a friend of mine said, well, there's only one. There's the Fiat 76. And he happened to know where the chassis, axles, wheels, all the basic car was that his friend had had for years. So that started in 2000. And then a long journey since then to find particularly the engine that was the biggest bit, and then restore the rest of it to as it is today. But it like one of those journeys, you start thinking that would be great, and then 3 years in you're thinking, well, I'm committed now. I've got to carry on.
So what was the hardest thing? You know, you get so far with the restoration, and you come across something, and you just want to just sort of hit your head against the wall, sort of thing. Were there any particular moments like that, or were there just all of them?
There's an awful lot of those. I think for me, probably the bodywork, because I'd spent 10 years looking at photographs and none of the body had survived, so I had to get the body right, and I drove people mad because in my head I had a perfect picture of what it was, and friends of mine would make panels and I go, yeah, no, not quite right, and we made about 3 bodies to get the body we have now, but I'm really pleased with it. It's as close as possible to as it was in 1911 in every detail.
Yeah. And as far as, I mean, I've known a lot of people who've restored cars, and then once they've restored it, they've walked away from it. But I guess that you want to keep it now. And so what are your plans for the future with the car?
Use it as much as possible. It really, if I only had one car, it was the car I wanted. It's fabulous to drive. It's fabulous to drive on the road. I have a problem today because the clutch isn't working properly, but it's nearly right. I've done about 300 miles on the road, and I would have driven here today if the clutch had been right, but it wasn't. So over the next few months, get the clutch to work properly and then use it on the road. Use it as much as possible. Mm-hmm. You know, it was driven on the road in its day. It's lovely to drive. The brakes are good-ish. It's great.
Okay, well, thank you very much for keeping that passion alive. Thank you very much for being a bit unhinged. And hopefully then we can... In a nice way, absolutely. But what would you say to anybody who's passionate about a car and they're thinking about buying a car and restoring it? What would you say, piece of advice, apart from don't do it?
I think they need to have a really understanding family. My wife's very lucky in many ways. They need to have an understanding family. And I think the thing too is join the club, get to whatever car it is, join the club and try and get some like-minded people ready, because there's times when it's not necessarily not being able to find the parts. It's times when it's in the middle of the winter, your garage is freezing cold, and you just want to phone somebody up to say, I'm fed up with this, and you want somebody else at the other end of the phone to go, no, it's brilliant, we've got to carry on with it, because you need the enthusiasm waxes and wanes, and if you've got a group of people around you who like your particular model car, that helps enormously.
So, Garrett, can you tell us a little bit about Babs?
Babs is Parry Thomas's land speed record car from 1926. Broke the land speed record then in 171 miles an hour. It returned back to Pendine in 1927, attempting to break the record again. And the car crashed, Thomas was killed, and the car was buried in the sands at Pendine for 42 years.
And as far as the sort of rebuild of the car, then that must have been a real labour of love as to how long it took, and no plans to go by.
Well, indeed. So father rebuilt it. It's my father that dug it up, and he had it running within 18 months. So the car was damaged from the accident and also damaged from being buried in salt water for 42 years. And between the combination of the two, he had a running chassis able to drive around in within sort of 18 months, 2 years.
So I guess it was emotional overload then when that car ran for the first time.
Yeah, it was. I can just about remember it. I was being a very small boy, and they tow-started it up the sort of Ogwyn Valley in Snowdonia behind a Land Rover and got it fired up. And the police turned up and shut the road rather than telling anyone off. And the car went up and down half a dozen times up the straight, and everyone sort of went back to the house for tea and smiles. It was all quite good fun. The sheep ran up the hillside, and away you went. It was just in those days, perhaps a little bit before too much health and safety.
You're obviously looking after Babs, so what's the condition of Babs? And sadly, she's not running today.
No, she could run, but bless it, the streets of Bromyard are a bit too tight and twisty. It's just not. It's not a place to try and run a car of this size of speed. It's not blessed with an awful lot of brakes, and it's not really very good in sharp corners. So between the combination of the two, we thought discretion might be the better part of valour, and we just sort of bring it here and do a static display.
Well, thank you for your continuing passion, and good luck with keeping Babs together.
Oh, you're welcome. It's good to see you. Thanks.
Thanks a lot. Bromyard Festival of Speed. It's been a glorious day. Met some glorious people, saw some glorious cars, and I'm now going to have a glorious ice cream. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.